Well, what is going on, everyone? Welcome back to Kitchen Table TCG for another weird market update, and welcome to Rathe. I want to start out this video by saying the market is still very much in flux with all the Monarch hype going on, with all the hype coming back from the print run announcement. Cards are very, very hard to find. And when a card moves, it moves very quick. So I just wanted to highlight that before we get started. If you have watched these videos before, go ahead and skip to a minute and a half and we'll be done with the intro. I'd just love to highlight a few people. Number one is Mitch from the Midtown Merchant. Mitch has given us a promo code, JustLove10. And if you are just getting in our community, I really believe that Mitch at Midtown Merchant is the best place to buy your cards. I don't just say that. I like Mitch. He's a good guy. We have good conversations. And then if you can't find the card you're looking for there, go to TCG Player and use the link in my description of my videos. That really does help the channel. And then if you want to support content like this or my other content, I do have a Patreon, and it does give you access to all the data, and that data is in a collection tracker at the $5 tier, and that gets you access to everything as a collection tracker that updates weekly, so you can keep track of the current value of your collection based on these videos that I do weekly for each set. And all the sets are here, and again, we are set and ready for Monarch. As we start getting cards, we'll put them in, and we'll start tracking the values of that. So let's get started with Welcome to Rathe. We always start with Unlimited for the players. We'll kind of burn through it this week because there's not really too much changing. Number one, you can still get boxes at $95. The market is doing a great job of keeping boxes in stock at the $95 mark. I know distributors are kind of starting to focus more on Monarch, but I'm not really that concerned about that because I think stores are still sitting on a decent number of product. And then the Heart of Feyendale, we are seeing another small growth here up to $750. I'll show you the sales. They're a little weird. There's going to be a few things this week that just, there's just some ups and downs and bizarre stuff going on as the market's reacting to things. So one sold for $650 today, but then on Friday we had a sale at $800, and we also had a sale of $750. So that's where I got the $750 number. I kind of just took the average of those three sales and then what I've been seeing on Facebook and what I've been seeing on TCG Player as well. So just wanted to show you those ones, but a 7% increase, and we are back to these kind of accepted prices for the Unlimited that we were actually, this is a new high. I didn't even notice that. We had seen a $700 back on the 25th of the year, but this is a new high for us. So $750 for the Heart of Feyendale. Let's go to the legendaries. In the legendaries, actually a decrease. Some things were a little soft. Scab Skin's going down to 92, and Tectonic Plating, the weakest of the set, going to 80. Mask of Momentum still sitting pretty at 180. And the Tunic still sitting at 195, but I did see a couple sold listings for the Brave Forge Bracers at 135. So all in all, just a lot of cards a little soft. And again, I've said this in all the other update videos, but nobody's really building new decks right now because everyone is preparing for Monarch to come out and to kind of change up all the metas and everything that happen. So everyone's kind of saving their money and they're just kind of playing what they have. And that might be why some of these class-specific legendaries are dipping a little bit, as nobody's picking up a new class. So all in all, your price is at $136 at an average for a legendary. All right, we're only going to talk about the Majestics and super rares. We're not going to really hop into much else. There's really no movement, honestly. 1% growth. Enlightened Strike for the Rainbow Foil is still sitting at 140-ish. And there was just really nothing else to talk about. I don't want to spend too much time on Unlimited because I want to move through into into alpha. So all in all, your average Rainbow Foil Majestic sitting at $31. Your kind of key cards you're looking for, if you don't know, are Enlightened Strike and Tome of Feyendale. I know we have a lot of people coming in from like the Pokemon community right now. I just want to make sure people are aware of the cards. Rainbow Foils, you get about 1 in every 4 boxes. You get a Majestic Rainbow Foil, and Enlightened Strike is kind of the premier card of the set, followed by Tome of Feyendale, and then the rest of them are class-specific cards. So that's where you start seeing some averaging in the value of those cards, whereas you have the high-value cards that are generic. So, all right, let's go to the regular Majestic. So you get 2 of these in each box. Your average Majestic is sitting at $15.35. That 2 is not guaranteed, but that seems to be the pull rate. Again, your Enlightened Strike is at $52. Your Tome of Feyendale is at $27. And really no huge changes here. The rest of your kind of generic cards or your class-specific cards are to be expected. with the Guardian cards being low, the Brute cards being low, and then the Ninja and the Warrior cards being high. So average price is at $15.35, and you can see again the meta is really shaping the price of these cards because people are playing the game, which is really important to understand and to know that is what's driving the price of these cards. So let's keep moving on into the super rares. And at a super rare level, we have a 6% increase in the rainbow foils, actually. Remembrance back up to $11. I actually put in my Discord server a couple days ago that the price of the foil and the non-foil were lined up. I know a couple people bought, I bought 2 of them to put into a deck. I needed 2 anyway, might as well get the rainbow foil. But it's a little weird that the price is the same, and it used to be so different. This used to be a $20 card, and then now it's just sitting at 10 or 11 bucks. So interesting stuff happening there. The rest of the cards, not a ton of shift in the movement. Your average is at $3.31 for a 6% increase. And then for the non-foil super rares, your average is at $1.60 or 12%. And you can see this non-foil one actually started to lose some value, whereas last week they were at like $8 and $9. Now they're at $7.50 and $11 or 12, which really makes a lot more sense to me. Average super rares at $1.62. So okay, let's go ahead. We're going to skip the rares and the commons. That's all, if you're interested in those prices and you're a patron, you can look at the TCG low. That's what I use. But let's get to the EV calculation. You have 42 rares in a box. That'll get you about 10 bucks. You have 4 foil rares. That'll get you about 4 bucks. 4 super rares, which will get you $6.45. 1 foil super rare will get you $3. 2 Majestics will get you $30. And then 1 in every 4 boxes has a foil Majestic. 1 in every 4 boxes has a legendary, and 1 in 40 boxes has a fabled. That puts you, if you were to open 40 boxes, your average for your boxes would be sitting at $116.36. But if you only open 1 box, you'll be sitting more like $63.51. And then this is a new thing we're doing. This is if you had 1 card of each version in the set, you'd be sitting at $2,136 to complete the full set of Welcome to Rathe. That is 1 card of each version, foil and non-foil. So let's go ahead and compare this week. The last week we were sitting at $119. This week we are at $116. That's a 3% loss. And let's go to the top 10. The 10 cards that gained the most value were Remembrance, the rainbow foil, from $9 to $11 is a gain of 22%. Crazy Brew went from $2.50 to $3, that's a 20% gain. And Mugentia Release from $2, it's $2.20, it's 10%. The non-foil gainers were Toma Fiendel, Blood Rush Bellow, and Enlightened Strike, 3 Majestics, up 10, 5, and 4% respectively. And then some cards that lost value were Singing Steelblade, which was interesting because Warrior is still very active in the meta, and that's what kind of tells me that people aren't building decks right now to build a new deck. Because the 2 cards that are high in the meta are Singing Steelblade and Braveforge Bracers. Those are both on this low list currently. 15%, 13%, and 10% with Sand Sketch Plan in the middle of that. And then your weekly top 10 non-foil losers, Bonehead Barrier, that one... This must be a TCG low listing at 2 cents, so let's not take that for truth there. I'm guessing that'll get picked up pretty quick. But last week was only 23 cents, so that's a decrease of 91%. Mugentia Release, though, lost 50%, and Sand Sketch Plan also lost 50%. Again, these super rare non-foils just don't perform very well. And you just have a lot of them entering the market as boxes are opened and opened and opened. So that's funny that the low value is 2 cents. I love it. Oh man. Okay, let's move on to Alpha. Let's see, where are we at? Let's move on to Alpha. Okay, keep in mind, this is just what I see in the marketplace as facts. If you're interested in more of my opinions on things, I do have in my Patreon, I do have a podcast called If I Were Investing. That's a weekly podcast. So I'm just going to share with you the market data, and I might share a little things that I think is happening, but if you're really interested in my market stuff, that's there. So sealed boxes, let's talk about this. So the most recent sealed thing that we have sold is a case, which is 4 booster boxes that sold for $35,000. Now, in Flesh and Blood, there is a case premium, a premium that we put on cases because chances are there is a legendary in that case because 1 in 4 boxes. So the way that printing works chances are there's a legendary. So there is a case premium in Arcane Rising WTR, and to some lesser degree Crucible War. So if you calculate this out, 35,000 divided by 4 boxes, that puts you at $8,700 per box. Now, again, there's a case premium, and I'm going to go ahead and say that the case premium in this case is probably around $1,000, because the lowest listed on to eBay right now is $7,800. So that's kind of what we're going to go with for this market update. We'll see how this number holds next week, but right now I would say it would take you $7,800 to probably buy a box in today's market. You might be able to get a little less than that. You might be able to get it for a little more than that, but it'd probably be right around $8,000. So let's go ahead and move on to the Fabled. This, of course, is the Heart of Faendal cold foil. These are becoming impossible to find, to purchase. They are also becoming very difficult to track who is purchasing. I know of multiple people who are buying Hearts of Faendal not for themselves, but for people who are coming new into our market. And so I'm in constant communication with 2 or 3 people who are doing this for others. And what they were telling me, and I actually know one of them put an offer up on the Discord to buy near mint, perfect condition Hearts of Faendal raw for $60,000. But there's also one on the Discord currently for sale at $50,000. That looks pretty good, but it's also overseas, which kind of brings this other component of our marketplace together. But what I am hearing from all these people is that almost nobody wants to sell a heart, even at the $55,000, $60,000 range. They're hearing even higher than that of offers when they put that offer out there to buy. So that's what I'm hearing from multiple sources that I trust. And so $50,000 seems to be the going rate for a near mint heart. Now, keep in mind, you could get a cold foil heart that is not going to grade a 9.5 or something like that, and those would probably be less, probably more into like the $35,000, $40,000 range. But anything that's going to potentially grade like 9.5, guaranteed 9.0 grade, potentially grading a 9.5. What I'm hearing is people asking for around $50,000 to $55,000 to $60,000 is kind of where the market is at. Again, if you're buying a $60,000 card, you're not trusting my opinion on this. So this is just what I'm hearing as a non-heart owner and a non-heart buyer that will never have $50,000 to buy that. So huge gains in the Heart of Faendal. Interesting to see. Let's go to the legendaries. A little bit easier to track down. There are some currently on eBay, but first we did have a sold listing of a Scab Skin Leathers. Did I pull that one up? Yeah. Oh, we didn't pull that one up. That was on eBay though. We did have a sold listing of Scab Skin Leathers for $2,600, which is pretty accurate to the price that I guessed at last week at $2,750 based on the rest of the market cards. And then Tectonic Plating, let's pull that up. So there was a 9.5 Tectonic Plating that sold for $75,000 or $7,500. But there's currently one on eBay that ends in tomorrow at, really in 5 hours. It ends in 5 hours. It's at $2,500. So I'm guessing that this $2,750 number is pretty accurate based on the current bids and that it still has 5 hours in the bidding process. I haven't seen a Mask of Momentum move. I haven't seen a Brave Forge Bracers move. But there is also a tunic available that is currently at $6,600 on eBay that ends in 3 days. So that's a 9.0. Sorry, I forgot about that. That's a 9.0, so it'll be interesting to see where that moves. And I think 9.0, there is a premium on 9.0, but that'll help us really understand where the market is at on a raw. I don't know exactly what the premium will be. I'm guessing it will be, 1.5 times. I don't know. I have no clue. I'm not buying graded cards. I am submitting some cards, but I have no clue what the current markup is for a 9.0. That being said, I do know of people 2 weeks ago who were trying to actively buy a tunic at 7,000 and they had no hits. They weren't able to buy a tunic at 7,000, and they all told me they think the market is more close to this $8,500 range. I think it'll be really nice to have a public sale, even if it's a 9.0. It'll be really nice to have a public sale to help us understand what the market value of that card is. So anyway, 42.40 seems to be the going rate for an average legendary, which is really kind of just sideways momentum right now until we kind of see some more of these things sell. you want to see a graph, there it is. Okay, if you want to see cards that actually do sell and actually are able to be found in the marketplace, cold foil commons. Everything in green is a confirmed sale that I've been starting to track over the last month and a half. You know, I was tracking confirmed sales, but I didn't label them in green back here. But now this is kind of help us understand how old a price is from the last sold listings that we found. So barkbone strapping, I just cleared off on one. There were multiple sold at the $800 mark, and then a best offer that was accepted at $600. So I just kind of left it at $800 because there were 3 sold this week at $800. So that is the market price I would say. I would suggest for that. That's the word I was looking for. So that's going to kind of show us where these cards I think are going to start moving towards. We did have that Helm of Eisen's Peak sell a week and a half ago for like $1,800. That seemed like an outlier. So I've kept this at around $600 for the Helm. There was no sold listings. Breaking Scales, I didn't see any sold listings for. Refraction Bolters at $600, another sold listing that was confirmed, same price as last week. Hope Merchant's Hood, no sold listings for. Hardened Cross Strap going up to $500 on TCG Player. A Goliath Gauntlet sold for $800. Nothing new for Snapdragon Scalers. I'm guessing this number is probably very low for Snapdragon Scalers. Iron Rot Helm at $500 sold. All these Iron Rots are moving up to an average around $500, which puts your average cold foil common sitting at $563.17. Keep in mind, like a lot of these ones are drying up and it's really hard to find them. And so I would say by this time next week, you might see some significant changes in the market. So please, as you're buying or selling, do your own research, see what is selling before you buy, see what is moving or what the current offered are before you buy or sell, because that's really going to change rapidly, or it won't change rapidly, but just do your own homework before you just trust my prices on these. Because stuff is moving very fast. I've been watching these on Facebook pretty actively, and you know they get posted and then they're just gone kind of over an hour or two. It's kind of awesome. Anyway, 14% growth, and we are seeing significant gains here in the cold foil commons, as they are just not as bountiful as we thought they were back in the day, or some thought they were back in the day. All right, let's go to the Majestic Rainbow Foils. Honestly, not much to talk about. The only thing to talk about is that I did miss a price 2 weeks ago for an Enlightened Strike that sold for $41.65. It was very, very clean. Probably somebody who's going to go get it graded. But I did miss a price and somebody told me about it, so I wanted to make sure that I put it in here. That sold on eBay. I don't know why it didn't pop up on my eBay sold listings. Maybe it was the way it was spelled. They actually sent me the listing, and so I was able to look at it. But so the E-Strike did sell for $41.65, which puts your average rainbow foil. But these are just so rare. They're so hard. Like, you think it's hard to find like a sold listing comment or a sold listing for like a, you know, for a what's it called, a cold foil common on some of those. Well, these are more rare than cold foil commons, so it's really slow to start seeing. I mean, look at how rare it is to see one of these sell, and every time they sell, they kind of move up in price. So again, like, I'm not saying that these prices are 100% accurate, but these are really like the last sold in all of our marketplaces for these cards. So your average is sitting at $853, which is a gain of 6%. Let's go to the Majestics. Unlike that, there's a lot of the regular Majestics that have sold. And this all kind of makes sense with the whole thing too. We are actually down 4%. Tomy Fiendale sold for $170, Enlightened Strike sold for $330, Steelblade Supremacy for $54. That one was down from $70 2 weeks ago. Ancestral Empowerment sold for $60, which is down from $76. Lord of Wind sold for $70, which is up from $46. So a little flip-flop there on those cards. And a Blood Rush Bellow for $45. So all in all, an average of $97, which is a 4% decrease in the cards there. Let's go to the super rares. These were really hot last week. Look at how many sold listings we had last week for these cards, these super rares. TCG Player was completely wiped out. There's like no cards in any rarity of rainbow foil for super rares or majestics on TCG Player. It's absolutely crazy. The only one that kind of moved this week was Hurricane Technique and Crazy Brew at $99 each. That puts your average up 3% to $133.67. There's just no cards. I mean, it's absolutely nuts. Majestic rainbow foils, good luck. Like if you want one of these, your goal is not to look at the price. It's to say how much does the seller want to sell it for, because that's the price, because they're so hard to find. Yeah, anyway, it's kind of like a really super minty heart. It's like why, like the sellers are what are dictating the prices, not the buyers, because it's such a seller's market right now. All right, the non-foil super rares, not a ton of movement in these this week. These are kind of boring, right? Like Mugenshi release sold for 16, Iron Song Determination for 25, a 3% increase. And you can see the market just isn't really interested in these. I mean, look at how little they've gained over compared to like the rainbow foils shooting up like that, or, you know, even like the Majestics. I guess not really compared to the Majestics either, but compared to the cold foils, right? The cold foil commons, like shooting up, or the legendaries shooting up. The market just isn't reacting to the rainbow foils or the non-foils in the same way. Okay, we do track the rares. These are TCG low, sitting on an average for the rainbow foil rares of $37.70. And you do see some movement there for those. That's up 12%. The regular, we want to talk about Drone of Brutality. Let's see what those are at. Drone of Brutality, no changes. So they haven't sold at all at the current market prices. No changes. So rares, let's see where those are at. The rares are up actually 10% this week. After being down 21% 2 weeks ago, they're starting to see some movement back up. Again, Drone of Brutalities have lost a lot of value from when you all were buying them out at $25. Now they're worth $3 and $6. I'm not laughing at you. I'm laughing at the situation. The common rainbow foils are also, let's see what they're doing, if they're moving up or down. This is just low listed. So some sellers have raised their prices 2%. Nothing really to talk about. And the commons are still worth, about 50 cents each, 75 cents each, something like that. 73 cents each if you can sell them. Okay, let's go to the EV calculation. Again, same stuff is happening here, except for that you get a cold foil in every box and then a chance at the legendary, a chance at the fabled. This puts your 40 box average at $4,112.53. Again, if you take out the non-foil commons, like you're not going to be able to sell 75-cent cards, you're sitting at $3,920.39. And then if you had a master set, this assumes that you're opening 40 boxes. If you just open one box, you're not going to hit the fabled, so you should not include that chance. Chances are you're not going to hit the legendary, so you should not include that chance. You can estimate that you'll get more like $1,000, $1,610 in your boxes. This puts a master set of the whole cards, one of each card, one of each cold foil, one of each rainbow foil, one of each non-foil, sitting at $135,736. Congratulations to those of you who have that. That is awesome. And let's go to the EV chart. This number right here is the one we track, which is the non-foils, or it doesn't include the commons. We are up 12%, 20%, 20%, 12%. Lots of gains happening, even in the singles, even as the sealed box prices are moving. Everything's moving. It's crazy. Let's see the top 10. Crazy Brew Rainbow Foil, the top 10 foil gainers, from 63 to 100 is a 58% increase. Barkbone Strapping, the common cold foil, from 530 to 800, which is a 50% increase. Goliath Gauntlet, also a cold foil common, from 565 to 800. That's a 41% increase. I did want to mention that the Heart of Fandel did make the list this time around at a 31% increase, from 38,000 to 50,000, for $12,000 increase this week. Let's go to the non-foil gainers. Mugenshi release, moving from 10 to 16 is a 60% increase. Lord of Wind moving from 46 to 70 is a 52% increase. And Blood Rush Bellow moving from 35 to 45 is a $10 or 28% increase. And there were a couple cards that lost value. One foil card, Scabskin Leathers, the cold foil legendary, did lose $150. That was kind of, remember, I estimated what the price was based on the rest of the market, so I missed by 5%. That's a pretty good, I'm pretty impressed with that. That's pretty good. Steel Blade Supremacy moving from $70 to $54. That's a loss of 22%. Ancestral Empowerment from 76 to 60. That's a loss of 21%. And then Bonehead Barrier on the negative list for both Alpha and Unlimited, going from 9 to 8 for a loss of 11%. All right, that is everything for WTR. I hope that you enjoyed the video. I hope that you will consider joining the Patreon and having access to all this data. You also get a great access to a Discord community that's great to ask any questions. You can ask me questions if you want to outside of Patreon if you're not a patron, but it's awesome to talk to patrons in the Discord channel. And honestly, I just really enjoy. I'm really thankful that you watch the videos and all that kind of stuff. But I did want to give this information out to people, and if you want to support the channel, that is the best way to do it. You also get promo codes to Midtown Merchant. You also get access to, like this week, you'll get access to to George from Compete Sports bundle kind of early. We have a specific number of bundles that he's allocated for my channel. And stuff like that. So anyway, hope you have a great day. Remember to be kind to the people around you. And thanks for being here.